Welcome to the Master of the Craft YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you can, please leave a like under this video. I gladly appreciate it. As you guys can see from the title of this video, is about how I turned my ministry into my career. Um, very interesting story, very long story, but we're going to try to shorten it because I don't want to make this video too long. Just trying to give you guys tips on how to do so if you feel as though it's your called to do so, because everybody isn't. Um, 5 years ago, when I was still working at the Rittenhouse Hotel, I had a dream. I had a goal to be able to do ministry full time, to be able to be a full time dancer. During this time, I had started my University of the Arts courses, and I was taking dance courses. And I had class literally every day. Only day I didn't have class was uh, Saturday and Sunday, but Monday through Friday, I was constantly in classes, whether it was tap, whether it was jazz, hip hop, African, lyrical, whatever, ballet, whatever. There were classes Monday through Friday, and classes that were very time consuming. You're in class nonstop. You got a break, you got lunch, and then you got your studying period that's a few hours, and then you still got to sleep, and then you got to wake up the next day and repeat the same thing the next day. But my reasoning for wanting to do ministry full time, because I feel as though that was led in that direction. I felt as though that was what God wanted me to do, because in prayer, um, you know, it wasn't clear right away, but it got clear as time went on. It was semi clear that that's what He wanted. There were many times where I prayed prior to me um, being 24, where He told me that He wanted me to, and I disobeyed Him. I didn't listen. I basically just continued to work, because I was just like, God, if I quit my job, how am I going to eat? How am I going to provide for myself? How am I going to take care of myself and buy the necessary things that I need to survive and to keep my body in the right condition? What am I going to do? I started to doubt God. I started to question God, because I felt as though He wanted me to quit my job without me having a backup plan, and without a backup plan being in place. So instead of obeying Him, I actually disobeyed Him. And what happened was, I ended up losing jobs for silly reasons and unexplainable reasons. And it wasn't until I turned 26, after I was already doing full time ministry at that time. But I went back and I actually was reflecting, and I actually realized this was the work of the Lord. Because if you don't obey Him, if you don't listen to what He tells you to do, He has ways to make you. He has ways to influence you, or persuade you to do so. Rather, He has to do it forcefully, or the regular way, by Him just calmly telling you, this is what I want you to do. He can be aggressive or he can be passive. But in this case, he was aggressive, because I was being disobedient. So the whole time I'm questioning God, and questioning what the plan was, instead of just having faith in Him and trusting what He said, because He clearly said, I want you to do ministry full time. But this is prior to me turning 24. Um, Uh, so I turned 24, and I was like, all right, Lord, I'm going to do it. This is what I want to do. And I started to fall more and more in love with the idea of being able to dance every single day, 7 days a week, with my ministry, with my teaching, and with me going to school. I started to fall more and more in love with the idea. And I realized that I wanted to do it on my time, on my terms. So God didn't make the transition very smooth. So when I decided to quit my job, and the job prior to that I lost, God was already like, okay, so since you didn't listen to me when I first told you to, I'm going to make it harder. I had everything laid out for you. I had everything already planned for you. But because you were disobedient, I'm going to make the road in the journey a little bit harder. And you're going to have to work harder to get to where you want to be, where you want to go. So I turned 24 and it was hard. It was hard, man. I was getting engagements, but they were like coming in like here and there. And then people would promise me various funds and they wouldn't come through with it. And ministry just was in a real weird place where I wasn't dancing the way I normally do, like every weekend. It slowed down. This was over a 4 month span, and it slowed down. I was dancing here and there, but it wasn't my regular thing. So I was like, God, how you want to tell me to do something, and you're not going to make a way for me to do it? So that's when he told me about him making it harder because I should have listened to him the first time instead of uh, doubting him and questioning him. So after that period, it was very, very rough. I was struggling to pay bills. I had to move in with family and friends and stuff like that. I was struggling to keep more than $20 in my pocket. I was struggling to be able to eat on an everyday basis. I was limited to just oodles and noodles and hot dogs, which is a $3 meal, depending on where you get your hot dogs from. Was struggling, just struggling, eating oodles and noodles every day, and oodles and noodles and water, oodles and noodles and water every single day. And it wasn't until after the 4th month, um, God literally in my prayer, I was just like, God, okay, I get it. I had enough. I'll do what you say. I'll never question you again. And I haven't questioned him since then. And ever since then, he just been providing me with opportunity after opportunity, and he hasn't had me in a position where I'm going without, or I'm in need financially. He's been providing for me. He's been making ways for me. He's been giving me opportunities on various platforms, on various stages. Uh, and it's truly a sacrifice. I don't recommend anybody, if you're going to be questioning how you're going to eat, how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to survive, I don't recommend it for you. I do not want nobody to go through what I went through. But you have to, in order to do it, you have to get enough engagements throughout the week. You have to have other things outside of just you being booked, because we know a lot of church services that we dance at on the weekends. You gotta be having stuff during the week. You gotta have money flow during the week. Rather you teaching at a dance company, rather teaching at a daycare, rather teaching at a camp, or rather you're in school or whatever. You have to have some means of income throughout the whole week to be able to call it full time, because full that's part time. If you're only dancing on the weekend, that's the only way you make your money, and it's only a weekend schedule. I don't think we consider you can consider that full time. It's just the leading up to the weekend. Then you can combine what you make during the week, and you can combine it with the weekend thing. There are a lot of people that don't agree with doing ministry full time. There are a lot of people that don't agree with being paid to do God's work. But I'm not one of those people, obviously. I believe that the workman is worthy of his hire. And I do believe that if you're good at something, this is the natural reason. If you're good at something, you should be paid for it. And I'm a firm believer of the saying, if you want quality, you must pay for it, or you have to pay for it. It is very, very important for us to know this. Uh, it gets frowned upon when you're doing ministry full time, when you don't do anything, when you don't do anything similar to singing or preaching or playing an instrument. It's very frowned upon, because when I first started to do full time miming, a lot of people was like, well, that can't get done, that can't be done, you can't be a full time mime. But I've made those people out to be liars, because I've told at dance companies for an entire week schedule, teaching mime and doing my ministry on the weekend. It hasn't stopped me from doing my ministry on the weekend, and it hasn't stopped anything. When it's different for me, because when people tell me I can't do something, it motivates me to want to do it even more, because that was a lot of people thing. They're not going to pay a mime. They're not going to give you this amount. They're not going to give you that amount. And I actually positioned myself in a position where it's respected. My ministry is respected, and people see how serious it is, and they see how powerful it is, and they see how life changing it is to the body and to the people. Uh, Watching how people interact with me, how people express uh, how they were blessed to me, rather it's in the open on social media or rather it's in person. But people see it, they identify it, and they see that it's something that's very, very effective and can be effective if done the right way. Uh, you have to have some type of plan. You have to have some type of vision. Everything that I'm doing now was written out years ago, and I'm actually, you know, letting it play out now. It's playing out now. I'm actually executing it now. What I wrote down years ago about how much I need to bring in weekly, and how much I need to put to the side to do my traveling and restock makeup or restock on gloves, and if I want to get a robe or another, whatever I wear, whatever I'm wearing, have money for that. And also when I want to do conferences, have money for that. But like I said, it's not for everybody. I don't recommend everybody pursues this, but if you do, just keep in mind that certain things have to be in place for you, and the most important thing to remember is that you have to have some type of weekly income. I'm not talking about from your regular job. I'm talking about if you're going to do full-time ministry, you have to have something that ties into that, that's going to be able to accumulate funds, accumulate money. Uh, so the first thing you need to do is make sure you pray. Two, you need to make sure you're fasting and you're in tune with God and you have your ear on His mouth. The third thing is you have to, when things get hard and things get rough, you can't doubt the process. You can't doubt God. You can't question the process. You just have to go full force and you have to keep the faith at all costs. No doubt can creep in your mind. If it's something that you want to do, you have to stay focused on the destination or on the prize or on the goal. Stay focused. And the fourth thing you have to do is you have to know how to promote your ministry. You have to know how to market yourself. You have to know how to uh, push your product and push your ministry. And if you have an event, promote your events. You have to be good at advertising. Advertising is important. I don't believe in advertising your ministry to the point where you're trying to be seen, but advertising, just your brand. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have to know how to sell to people. You also have to know that there's a difference between a mime dancer and a mime artist. Because I fancy myself as an artist with me being signed to a production team and me traveling so much and me, doing various plays and various productions and stuff. I see myself as an artist who, goes in church and does it and goes outside of church and does it in the communities, on the streets, or in plays or in weddings, whatever. I've been on pretty much every stage, so I definitely fancy myself as an artist. Definitely even more artist now that I'm signed, and I've been signed for the last year and a half. But it's been amazing being able to pay bills and just know that you don't have to wake up and go to a 9 to 5. All you have to do all day is just focus on ministry. Is very, very soothing. It's very, very refreshing to me. All I had to do is work on my conferences and work on getting teaching done, whether I'm having my own facility or whether I'm going to somebody else's facility to teach. But just being able to teach what you love, something that you've been doing since you was 9 years old, is very, very fulfilling and is very, very amazing. And I pinch myself every day because I'm literally living my dream. I just want to mime. I just want to glorify God, and I just want to bless His people. So that's my mindset every day, is how to get sharper with my craft and how to add various things to my ministry to make my ministry bigger. Not to be seen, but to reach people. And the important thing with doing ministry full time is your aim should be reaching people, and being a blessing everywhere that you go. Uh, and also being an influence to those that are following you, those that are under you, being a positive influence, not a negative one. Um, I turned this ministry into a full-time thing by hard work, by blood, sweat, and tears, by a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of late nights up to 4 a.m. working on conferences, working on events, brainstorming and praying and asking God for direction on what I should do with my ministry and how I should go about my ministry and how I should approach ministry. Um, a lot of times, folk are asleep and I'm up and I'm grinding, I'm working. This is the grind. I've turned my ministry into a career by not trying to cater to everybody, but cater to the ones who are willing to receive, and the ones who are unique, and the ones who are different, who look at things totally different than just what's in front of them, but they look beyond what's in front of them. I say this all the time. My ministry is not for everybody, so it's helped my ministry a lot, and it's allowed my ministry to be a little bit more respected than it was when I first started, making a name for myself. I turned my ministry into a career by my connections, by my networking, sitting down with various pastors and bishops and stuff, and forming relationships with them. Very, very good relationships, and sitting down with entrepreneurs at entrepreneur conferences and leadership summits and stuff like that. Just being seen, being around, shaking hands, and having very, very good dialogue and conversations over tea and crumpets and donuts and stuff like that with folk of different colors who are willing to invest. Networking is very, very important in doing ministry full time as well. We can't be going to these church events and dancing and leaving. We have to stay around and be seen and actually socialize with the people, and stuff like that. And that actually helps aid. You can't expect to be getting booked or be getting opportunities if you don't stick around, if you don't try to meet people. Sometimes we do have places to go, but sometimes we can help our case by being around and being reachable. I turned my ministry into my career by staying true to what I was taught when I was younger, and that's being unique and being different and being a leader, not a follower. What I do is very, very unique. My style is unique. My execution to different things is very, very unique. My ministry is just unique, period. I didn't succumb to everyone saying that I should dance like this person or that person, but I stayed true to what I know, and I stayed true to what I believe in, and that's sticking to what God gave me and doing it to the best of my abilities. So that's pretty much it. So I wanted to give you guys had this little chat with you guys to let you know how things got to where it is today. And I hope that this video encourages you, and I pray that God continues to bless you guys in your various ministries. All right, peace and blessings. All right, y'all, peace.